As tensions between Israel and Iran emerge as a new front in the Middle East, the world is paying close attention to events in Lebanon and Gaza, two areas where conflict has intensified. Despite pressure from other countries, Israeli defense forces are determined to destroy Hezbollah's military facilities and Iranian-backed militants. Hezbollah's extensive network of tunnels near the Lebanese border was discovered by the Israeli army during these operations, and military bases that the organization had been building in secret for years were exposed. The tunnel networks discovered by Israel in southern Lebanon are hidden beneath villages and dense vegetation. IDF spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, stated that the tunnels were infrastructure specifically designed for Hezbollah's elite Radwan force. Civilians are being used as human shields by the Radwan force of Hezbollah, which has established military bases in the area. The fear is that Hezbollah, at Iran's request, has been preparing for years to attack our country in order to justify Israel's constant operations on the Lebanese border. And now they have brought this strategy to light. The IDF found a very sophisticated tunnel system containing military ammunition, as well as bunkers, command centers, and hiding places for Radwan force fighters. Before moving on to the hot topics on the agenda, we kindly ask you to share our team's video, which puts great effort into our videos. The increase in the number of likes on the video will be very helpful in preventing attacks on our channel from the last few days. By subscribing to our channel and liking my videos, you can follow the latest news on the agenda and the meticulously created content by our team. It is important to enable notifications. Let's examine the latest news together. When the tunnels were built, they were deliberately placed under homes and other civilian buildings in southern Lebanon. This approach is considered a way to limit Israel's activities and change global perception. According to Hagari, an IDF spokesperson, Hezbollah has been able to hide these underground buildings for a long time using civilian areas as a shield. The safety of the inhabitants of the villages is seriously threatened by these Israeli operations. But the IDF insists that war is inevitable and will continue until Hezbollah's presence in the area is completely eliminated. Hezbollah continues to launch fierce rocket and missile attacks in retaliation for Israeli airstrikes against its local bases and military operations in Lebanon. It is said that Hezbollah has fired about 150 rockets from the Lebanese border into northern Israel during the fierce afternoon attacks. The attacks aim to have a significant psychological impact on the civilian population, as well as on the military, and are a reaction to the increase in Israeli activity over the past month. Israeli security analysts claim that Hezbollah attacks have undergone a drastic change in tactics. From the sporadic and largely ineffective attacks of September and early October, Hezbollah is now launching coordinated and highly precise attacks against strategically selected objectives. Due to the technological support it receives from Iran, this change is considered an increase in Hezbollah's military power and its ability to make more calculated tactical decisions. The success of IDF operations against Hezbollah's long-range missile infrastructure and Iranian guidelines to protect its large missile arsenals are cited by analysts as reasons for the limited heavy missile attacks against central Israel. With this tactic, Iran may be trying to hide its missiles to launch more significant and powerful attacks against Israel. Specifically, according to SIDF officials, about 130 rocket launchers belonging to Hezbollah were destroyed last week, most of which were equipped with precision-guided rockets. The IDF's 91st Division's discovery of 4 Hezbollah vehicles carrying rocket launchers was also a notable event in recent operations. Apparently, these trucks were transporting launchers that contained up to 160 rockets. This suggests that Hezbollah continues to mobilize these launchers, which are hidden near the border and could be very useful in a conflict, despite Israeli attacks. Israeli offensive tactics target Hezbollah's missile infrastructure, as well as Iranian command centers, weapons depots, logistical networks, and the flow of munitions. It is said that this pressure on Lebanon weakens the actions of Tehran-backed militias, such as Hezbollah, and Iran's influence in the region. However, the global community is concerned that the escalation of tensions between Iran and Israel could lead to a large-scale regional conflict. The IDF launched new shooting attacks, while Hezbollah fired rockets towards the north. Israel warned residents to evacuate the city and attacked the coastal Lebanese city's terrorist infrastructure. Rockets hit Haifa in western Galilee, setting off sirens, but no one was injured. The historic coastal city of Tyre in southern Lebanon was targeted by Israeli bombs on Monday after the Israeli army ordered the evacuation of many of its citizens. Hezbollah continued firing missiles at northern Israel. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, stated in a communique following the attacks that among Hezbollah's targets in the firing were weapons depots, facilities, and observation posts of the terrorist organization, all belonging to different units of the organization. The army stated that Israeli civilians and IDF forces in these settlements were targets of terrorist attacks by the Hezbollah group. According to the report, Tyre is a major base for Hezbollah, particularly the Asi district unit, from which the terrorist group organizes its attacks against Israel. According to the Lebanese national news agency, ANN, the raid on an apartment was the first in a series of attacks in the coastal city. According to the AFP video correspondent, some firing zones were covered in thick clouds of smoke coming from a building located in front of the sea. Previously, the IDF had threatened to attack Hezbollah targets in south-central Lebanon and ordered the population to evacuate immediately. Colonel Abichai Adrai, the IDF's Arabic-speaking spokesperson, issued a warning on social media, telling residents that the IDF does not want to harm you and that Hezbollah's activities are forcing the IDF to act in your area. After authorities released a map of target zones, residents were told to immediately evacuate the area marked in red and head north towards the Ahwali River. Adrai continued, "Anyone near Hezbollah personnel, facilities, and weapons is putting their life at risk." According to a municipal source who spoke with AFP, Israeli soldiers called the Tyre Municipality Union in Arabic and ordered the evacuation of many local streets. The union ordered emergency and civil defense services to urge citizens to evacuate through loudspeakers, creating a panic situation, according to NNA. Rockets and drones continued to attack areas in northern Israel throughout Monday, according to the CFDI. In the afternoon, 115 missiles had been fired, compared to 90 on Sunday. There were no injuries reported on Monday. 5 rockets were fired at Haifa on Monday afternoon, triggering sirens throughout the city and many of its suburbs. According to the IDF, some of the rockets hit open areas, while others were intercepted. Early in the day, about 30 rockets were launched from Lebanon towards the western Galilee, according to the IDF. FDI. The military reported that multiple impacts were detected and that some rockets were intercepted. Drone sirens were also heard early this morning in the areas of Raj, Hanekra, and Shlomi. The IDF announced that they had successfully downed a drone launched from Lebanon, but no one was injured. According to Qatari media outlet Al Arabi Al Jadid, a member of the Lebanese army, he was injured in an Israeli attack near Kfar Dunain in the Lebanese area of Bint Jebel. No other information was known at this time. Before Monday's tragic clashes, Hezbollah declared that its armed men ambushed vehicles and Israeli enemy soldiers as they advanced towards the borders of the Kaf Arquila border community. Following the Hamas attack on October 7th, approximately 60,000 Israelis were evacuated from northern cities near the Lebanese border due to a potential Hezbollah invasion and an increase in rocket attacks by the terrorist organization. Thank you for following us. See you in our new videos.